Hello everyone, welcome to the next Primacy Roundtable. I'm Bryan Libertor, this is John Libertor.
Greetings.
And today we're talking to you about claims predicaments. So a predicament, one example might be of an accident that occurred 3 to 6 months ago. You know, your safety director gets a letter of rep on an accident and everyone's looking at it, scratching their heads thinking, why'd this come in? Our driver said we didn't owe it.
No injury?
Yeah, no injury. It looked like we didn't owe it. Everything made sense, so we just closed the file.
And maybe the driver wasn't cited.
Exactly. Yep. And
So, in that case, is there an investigation done?
well, now everyone scrambles to do one. But if you're 3 to 6 months or even later, what kind of an investigation can you do now? You know, if there's a witness on the police report and stuff, that stuff just gets harder and harder to get a hold of, and that information, and if there's video or dash cam or surveillance cameras of the intersection or anything like that, that stuff gets more and more difficult by the day to get a hold of when you're that far down the road. So you're in a real predicament when you get that letter of rep and you're that far away from the date of loss, and now you're deciding, now we need to investigate.
So let me give you another predicament, and this one just came up the other day. So I'm digging into a claim that is already ongoing. Happened about a year ago, and I was somewhat shocked when I saw the photographs of the damage, quote, damage. Now, understand that the claimant, who's in a big rig, he's had bilateral shoulder surgery. So with that, you must be thinking, this was a pretty substantial accident. Not. We struck the mirror on the right side of his truck. That's it. And I'll tell you what the predicament is here, that nobody really created a stir or a ruckus about this event to nail it down right away. So we have a significant predicament where plaintiff counsel is purporting that these shoulder surgeries are related to hitting a mirror. Is that preposterous or what? So let me give you one example of how to reduce a predicament. And I'm going to come back to Bryan's scenario, but in this scenario with the mirror, so I asked the adjuster, so we have the photos in the file. That's a good thing because we don't often see photographs. Have you sent the photos to the plaintiff attorney? No. And on this case, they had surveillance, good surveillance. Have you sent the surveillance to plaintiff counsel, or at least in part, take a still from the video and send that demonstrates that his client is not injured? Have you done that? No. Why not? So these things have to be done early on. You may not be able to arrest a case on day 1 or day 30, but as information comes in, you gotta like fire those guns to plaintiff counsel and let him know what he's up against. Otherwise, they're just going to keep building their case, and your predicament is going to get more and more significant. So in your situation, with the letter of rep that comes in 3 or 6 months post-loss, with a crystal ball, how would you reduce that predicament or avoid it altogether?
Back towards the date of loss when it first gets reported. So just detailing everything that happened. So interview of your driver, reach out, regardless of liability or reported liability, whatever it appears to be, get a recorded statement from the other party and get them to admit, you know, if you think our driver's in the right, their driver's in the wrong, get them to admit on a recording that their driver, that, you know, they admit fault, secure the police report. If there's any witness, if there's 2 witnesses, get their quick version recorded. That stuff is much easier to get right when the accident happens. Witnesses, I mean, that you nail that stuff down, and if that letter of rep pops up 6 months later, you've got all this beautiful information.
Now you got some ammunition.
Exactly.
And what we have back here is first 48. That's kind of our mantra. One of the guys in our group came up with that, you know, in the first 48 hours, you got to come at the accident with full force in terms of an investigation. And I always tell people that doesn't mean it costs a lot of money. It really doesn't. But over the life of a policy period, or if you take 10 claims or 100 claims, if you're diligent and proactive in the first 48 hours on every accident, you're not going to spend a lot of money, and you're going to nail things down airtight. So when those letter of reps come in, or when the adjuster calls and says, hey, we got to take the reserve from 10 grand to 150 because there's bilateral shoulder surgery, which is total bunk. Now you have something to go on instead of 6 months down the road saying, hey, let's start an investigation. Not going to be very fruitful, right?
No. Not at
So
all. Yep.
that's our tip for today. We hope you have fewer and fewer predicaments, but to do that, you got to be really active on every single accident. Take care.
Thanks. Bye.